You know that feeling after 4 years of political pirouettes, housing prices that feel like satire, and enough breaking news alerts to trigger heartburn. A lot of Americans are collectively whispering, "Yeah, I'm done." And honestly, Europe seems to have heard the cry, because across the Atlantic, tiny postcard towns are practically flinging land at newcomers. Why sit through another recycled debate clip when you could be refreshing Airbnb listings in villages where time moves slowly and the scenery looks AI-generated? If overpriced brunch culture and the national sport of doomscrolling have drained your soul, maybe it's time for a hard reboot somewhere sunnier, simpler, and suspiciously generous. So here's what to do. Cancel half your subscriptions, you're not watching them anyway, type up that 2 weeks notice, or boldly skip that step, click on the subscribe button, and start zooming in on a European map like you're picking a treasure chest. Italy, Spain, Sweden, countries where the towns are gorgeous, the locals are friendly, and the land is cheaper than your monthly Wi-Fi bill. 13. Götene, Sweden. Coming in like a Scandinavian plot twist, the tiny Swedish town of Götene, population barely 5,000, is practically giving away land, and we're not exaggerating. They're selling plots for just 1 krona per square meter, around 8 euro cents per square meter. That's cheaper than a stick of gum. And get this, you don't need Swedish residency, EU citizenship, or a Viking ancestor. Anyone can buy. But there is one tiny, sensible rule. You actually have to use the land. Start building within 2 years, or the plot boomerangs back to the town. Fair enough, free land isn't meant to be a long-term souvenir. The whole plan is part of the mayor's mission to revive Götene's aging, slowly shrinking population. Their hope? That young couples, families, and adventurous souls will show up, buy a dirt-cheap plot, build a life, and bring some fresh energy back into town. 12. Hylte, Sweden. Just south of Götene, the municipality of Hylte is running a nearly identical "Please Move Here" campaign. And yes, the land is just as absurdly cheap. Last year, Hylte put 54 plots on the market for the same symbolic price of 1 krona each. These aren't random fields either. They're spread across ready-to-build residential zones, meaning the land itself is basically free and your only real investment is the construction. In exchange, Hylte gains the new residents it desperately needs to keep local schools, shops, and services alive. Sure, you'll still pay normal Swedish building costs and taxes, but the land? Practically a gift. 11. Olmeda de la Cuesta, Spain. Tucked into the rolling hills of Cuenca, Olmeda de la Cuesta is fighting ghost town status by auctioning off building plots at incredibly low prices. Some parcels, around 200 square meters, have reportedly sold for as little as 200 euros. The only catch? If you buy a plot, you must build a home or business within a few years. In other words, rural Spain is practically giving away land to anyone willing to put down real roots, a genuine free land opportunity if you're handy with a hammer. The mayor even notes that some lots come with natural caves perfect for quirky wine cellars. Not coastal luxury, sure, but for the right adventurer, it's a striking deal. 10. Rubiá, Spain. Rubiá, a tiny village tucked into the quiet hills of northwest Galicia, is so eager for new faces that it's literally willing to pay you just to live there. The deal is simple. Move in with your family, and the town will hand you up to 150 euros a month. No strings, just an incentive to help keep local schools alive. It's not enough to cover rent, but in a place where housing is famously cheap and neighbors still greet you by name, it feels less like a stipend and more like a welcome gift. Galicia wants young families to breathe life back into its classrooms, and in return, you get slow living, low costs, and a community that actually wants you around. 9. Ponga, Spain. Ponga, the little Asturian village that once broke the internet, became a rural revival legend when it dangled 3,000 euros in front of any couple willing to relocate, and then doubled the offer with another 3,000 euros for every baby born there. For a while, it was Spain's poster child for, "We will literally pay you to live here," the kind of headline that made digital nomads pause mid-scroll. The scheme is on hold now, no active grants in 2024, but its legacy lives on in every listicle promising a fresh start and a cash bonus. If the US had its "move to Michigan for free" moment, Ponga was the Spanish prototype. Just swap the ice fishing for mountains, cider, and a lot more charm. 8. Calabria, Italy. Head down to southern Italy and the perks get even bigger. Calabria's relocation program can hand you up to €28,000 to move in. But, of course, there's a catch. You have to be under 40 and ready to either launch a business or work in an in-demand sector like tourism, retail, or small local services, all in a village with fewer than 2,000 residents. Once approved, you've got 90 days to actually move, register, and start contributing to the local economy. The payout isn't free land in a literal sense, but it feels close. The money can cover a good chunk of buying or renovating a home, making it basically a subsidized fresh start. The mission is simple: bring in young entrepreneurs before these postcard-perfect hill towns fade into nostalgia. 7. Sardinia, Italy. Sardinia took a different approach with a €45 million fund, offering €15,000 grants to newcomers. It's not free land, but the money can cover about half the cost of buying or renovating a home in any town under 3,000 residents. You'll still need to put in some of your own cash, but Sardinia essentially slices your housing bill in half. Move in, register full-time residency within 18 months, and you could be living with mountain views or near the coast on a serious budget. One town, Ollolai, even gives remote workers 3 months of free rent to test island life. It's not technically free real estate, but it's definitely close. 6. Ollolai, Italy. Ollolai has been a headline magnet ever since its €1 houses, and now it's leaning even harder into attracting Americans. After recent US elections, the town rolled out an English-language site specifically for US citizens, giving them priority guidance and step-by-step help with the paperwork. They're not handing out cash anymore, but they'll practically walk you into residency. And for remote workers, Ollolai's Work from Ollolai program lets digital nomads stay for almost free for about a month, essentially a no-risk trial of Sardinian village life. It's not technically free land, but when you're burned out on the US, that kind of red carpet welcome can feel like the next best thing. 5. Trentino, Italy. High in Italy's far north, Trentino rolled out one of the country's boldest revival schemes, a massive €100,000 incentive to anyone willing to settle in one of 33 fading mountain towns. The grant is split into €80,000 for renovation and €20,000 for buying a home, essentially a full subsidy to revive empty houses. The catch is significant. It's limited to Italians or those with Italian ancestry, and you must keep the home, or rent it out, for at least 10 years. Still, €100,000 is a serious offer, and it shows just how urgently these alpine villages want new life. In spirit, it's Italy's rural golden ticket, provided you're eligible and committed for the long haul. 4. Legrad, Croatia. Slide over to Croatia and check out Legrad, where empty houses are practically free. You can buy an abandoned home for just 1 kuna, roughly 13 euro cents. There are a few simple requirements. Be under 45, not currently own a home, and have a clean criminal record. Beyond that, it's yours for the price of a candy bar. Some past programs even offered renovation assistance, so with a bit of elbow grease, you could turn a forgotten house into a real home. This is about as close to literal giveaway property as Europe gets. No investors, no gimmicks, just opportunity for anyone willing to roll up their sleeves. 3. Albinen, Switzerland. Not free land, but close enough to free money. The tiny Swiss alpine village of Albinen, with a population of around 200, will hand newcomers 25,000 Swiss francs, approximately $28,500 per adult, and 10,000 Swiss francs per child just for moving there. The rules are simple. Be under 45, buy a local home valued at least 200,000 Swiss francs, and commit to sticking around for 10 years. No nationality restrictions. Foreigners are welcome. Essentially, it's a relocation bonus disguised as an incentive to repopulate the village. Sure, Swiss housing is pricey, but this deal turns part of that down payment into a village-funded gift. Think breathtaking mountain views, fresh air, and a little cash in your pocket. A rare alpine win-win. 2. Geiranger, Norway. Norway might not be giving away land, but it's offering something almost as good: free hospitality. Geiranger, that jaw-dropping fjord village straight off a postcard, has teamed up with Iceland and the Faroe Islands to welcome digital nomads for winter stays. For 1 to 3 months, you get free housing, workspace, and even access to training and equipment. The goal? Bring remote workers to tiny Arctic communities during the slow season, keeping life buzzing when most people hibernate. Imagine moving your Zoom office to a UNESCO World Heritage fjord, living under the northern lights, and paying zero rent. It's a literal winter trial of paradise, and honestly, it beats "I worked from home" stories any day. 1. Ireland's offshore islands. And topping the list at number 1, Ireland. Its Our Living Islands program is paying newcomers over 80,000 euros to relocate to one of the country's 30 inhabited offshore islands. The catch? You must buy a home that's been empty for at least 2 years. In return, the government essentially covers a huge chunk of your moving costs, turning long-abandoned houses into instant opportunities. Think Inishbofin or Valencia, where the island lifestyle meets literary charm. Basically, an invitation to live your own Colm Toibin novel. This might be the closest thing to Europe giving away land. The islands are remote, beautiful, and desperate for residents. Move in, embrace island life, and let the Atlantic breeze do the rest. From frozen Nordic fjords to sunny Iberian hills, Europe is practically begging newcomers to revive its villages, sometimes with cash, sometimes with near-free homes, and occasionally with just enough elbow grease to call it yours. If you're seriously over the usual grind, why not take a test run? Pack a bag, claim that plot or stipend, and see what life as an expat really feels like. These programs pop up and vanish fast, so double-check availability before quitting your day job. But let's be honest, if you've spent hours scanning Move for Free opportunities across Europe as research, you deserve a personal high five, or at least a celebratory emoji. So, hit that subscribe button, stick around for more wild opportunities, and maybe, just maybe, your next adventure is a continent away.